Welcome to the BA Coaches Show, where we talk all things Nebraska sports all the time. Interviews, breakdowns, rants, and more. Expect it all from the Nebraska diehard, Coach Ben Audi. Make sure you click the like, subscribe, or follow button and enjoy this conversation about our beloved Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Welcome to this edition of the BA Coaches Show. Thank you for joining me here today. Make sure if you're checking this out on YouTube, you give us a like, you subscribe to the channel. We are closing in on 500 subscribers. We're so close. I think as of right now, we're at like 480 something. So we're closing in on 500, and that's a big milestone. So thank you for that. Share this out to your friends. If you're listening on an audio platform, give us a follow. Check it out. We're putting out 2 episodes a week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or podcasts, whatever that is. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're putting it out. So thank you guys for tuning in today. We're going to talk Northern Iowa a bit. But hey, make sure you check out all my stuff. Go to characterchronicles.com. Okay. There's a whole bunch of good Nebraska stuff on there. Nebraska Voice of College Football. He's on there. Justin Adams. The Go Big Redcast is on there. All their video clips go on there. All their podcast stuff goes there. So go check that out. And you can find the BA Coaches Show. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm sorry if I'm missing out. Those are just the 2 that pop in my head real quick. So make sure you go check that out. Make sure you check out, we'll talk about it here in a bit, but I'm on 1620 The Zone every Monday. Go check out nbnrpodcast.com for the blog. As soon as I get done recording this, I'm posting the UNI preview blog. So go check it out. It's going to be a fun time talking football today. And let's get right into it. But first, quick message. If you're interested in joining the Paola Chamber of Commerce 4-person golf scramble, contact the Paola Chamber of Commerce. If you're near the Miami County area and want to be involved, it's 18 holes. The double bogey is your friend. September 16th at the Paola Country Club golf course. And if you're not going to be playing golf, join us for the cocktail networking reception from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. It costs $40 a person, and it includes a drink ticket. We got a cash bar, golf awards, and a raffle. So again, if you're interested, contact the Paola Chamber of Commerce. And with that, let's get back to the episode. Wow, that was fantastic. Thank you for that, Coach BA. Wow. All right, so here's kind of the plan for today. Sorry, I know that was just kind of awkward. Here's kind of the plan for the day. We're going to talk about Northern Iowa. I'm going to get to the Q&A, and then we're going to kind of get out of here. You guys seem to like these shorter, hard-hitting episodes. My last question is kind of asking me, like, what are some longer plans for this podcast? So we'll kind of get into that a little bit, because I'll talk to you guys about it open and honestly. The way this show is formatted right now is not the plan I expect it to be long term. It's not. I love doing it how we're doing it right now, because that's what you guys want to see. But my ultimate goal for this podcast is not going to just be sitting down for 30 minutes twice a week. I'll talk to you about it. It's going to be a good time. But before we talk about Northern Iowa, you guys remember, every Monday I am on 1620 The Zone, mornings with Sharp and Hanley on Mondays. After we're going to be this last week, we had a very good discussion about Colorado and the things that we liked from that game. Things, saw some improvement, some things I'd like to see in the future, what worked. So every Monday, please go check that out. And the reason I'm saying please go check that out, and I know this seems like kind of a shameless plug here, but like, if these segments do well, if you guys enjoy seeing me do good things, it helps me get better opportunities. Yes, I know that's super freaking selfish of me to ask of you. I understand that, but I'm saying, hey, if you guys enjoy my stuff and want to see me keep growing in this Nebraska content space, checking out these segments are going to do good because they'll see, oh crap, this guy brings people listening to it. So please go check that out. Yeah, just please help me out with that. But you guys want to talk some Northern Iowa? I kind of do. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk Northern Iowa a bit. I know this just kind of seems like a letdown game, but to me, this Northern Iowa game is a very important one. Yeah, I know we're expected to win, and it's expected to be a blowout win. So I don't mean this is like super important in like the win-loss category, I guess. Like, to me, this is super important for how we perform going into Big Ten play. This is our last test before we get into conference play. I want to see an offense that comes out after halftime and still fires out with the same aggression schematically and just like obviously players, right? This like night game is stuck right in between the heated, crazy Colorado rivalry game, biggest game in a long time. And then the next week, we got a Friday night game, the 400 sellout, the starting a conference play. So this is like really wedged right in between there. So it kind of is easy to overlook, especially as a fan. I don't think the team's overlooking it. But I view this as a chance to keep building into the team we want to see. Championship teams build on things like this. They're not worried about, oh, well, we're going to go out there and beat this team by 40 points. It's us. We're competing against us today. We're going to try and be a better version of us today. And that's what I think is important about this game. The Northern Iowa offense is an offense that is going to run the football. They're going to try and run the football very, very much. They have a very good running back, Ty Edwards, who is averaging like over 150 yards a game. He's been able to just bully defenses and make big gains. I do find it interesting about the Northern Iowa offense is that they're obviously very run heavy. But when they brought in offensive assistant coaches, this past summer and spring and all that, they brought in a lot of air raid disciples like Mike Leach guys. And obviously you guys know the air raid is like a pass heavy approach, but I will say it does have a lot of principles about run game stuff, like creating mismatches and angles and using space for the run game. So I think they're implementing some of that while still being their traditional heavy run style. This style, honestly, kind of prepares us for Big Ten play, obviously minus the good athletes of the Big Ten. That's what is kind of interesting here. This is like literally goes right into Big Ten play of, hey, stop the run. Obviously, they're not the Big Ten caliber athletes, if that makes sense. But to me, this plays right into the strength of our defense. So I am expecting a big game there. The Northern Iowa Panther defense has been largely untested by like teams that are going to be that good, in my opinion. I'm excited to see how our offense performs against them. To me, this game's a valuable opportunity for us to just show how effective our offense can be, especially when we have such a big talent mismatch. There's obviously been a lot of talk amongst fans about the effectiveness of the game plan offensively, particularly with our tight ends and how our second halves haven't looked so good. This game against Northern Iowa could honestly be a little test in serving some of like getting rid of some of those doubts. We just have a chance to like show that the game plan strengths going forward. Like we need to see, like I want to see Thomas Fidone. Like I want to see him push the field vertically. We've broke it down on this channel before. I feel like we need to see that. Getting some answers to a lot of the fans' questions. And honestly, I don't see how if you're a coach on the team, you don't have at least some questions offensively, right? Getting answers to those questions before you get into your conference play is a big deal. We got to get some of those answered because these games are going to be coming up, these Big Ten games, even like the Illinois, Rutgers, Purdue, like those are big level games. And if you don't have a solid game plan, a solid strategy going in, it's not going to go well. So to me, offensively, this game is a very important step into making sure we're fully ready for that big time Big Ten competition. So offensively, I'm like, yeah, obviously we're here to win. We're here to hit by a lot. But like, I want to use this as a benchmark. I want to show what we can do, make the adjustments. Just my opinion there. Go through some of the keys to win. I think the keys to win are the same as normal, but like I don't even want to call this keys to win. It's like keys moving forward. Like here's what I want to see from the game to feel very confident going forward. I do truly believe we're going to win, probably by a sizable margin. I want to see us generate takeaways again. Yes, we've been generating takeaways, but I want to keep seeing it. I want to keep building that turnover margin up. Forced fumbles, intercept passes gives us more opportunities for the offense, put up points on the board. And here's the thing, takeaways are going to be huge when we get into Big Ten play. So let's just set that now, that we're a team that generates turnovers. Secondly, I want to see big offensive explosive plays. I want to see us. I want to see it. I want to see it. We have the potential to make big plays. We have the potential to, break off 20, 30-yard runs like we've seen. We have the potential to throw long passes. I want to stretch the field, take some risks, and keep this defense on its heels. It's not even just about now. I want to see I want Illinois. I want Purdue. I want future opponents to have to game plan for the explosivity of this offense. I want them to have to say, hey, we're sticking in too high here because we're worried that we're going to get the top taken off our defense, right? And to me, lastly, playing a clean game of football is very key, right? Hey, I did it. I got blocked by the NBC rules expert on Twitter, right? Just for asking questions. Soft, sorry, son of a gun. But we can talk all we want, but like some of those penalties were like legit, like we were holding or whatnot. So we need to minimize penalties we need to go through the game plan without any unnecessary mistakes. I don't want to give away any free yardage. I don't want to give away any opportunities to our opponents. I want to come out disciplined and with crazy good focus. I do believe we can do that. Discipline and focus, I think, is a big key for this game. No self-inflicted errors. Again, I think we're going to win this game big. I'm just talking about like what I want to see going into conference play. So with that, I will make my prediction. I will. Nebraska 45, Northern Iowa 10. That's how I feel. I feel very confident with that prediction. I think it's going to be a great day to be a Nebraska Cornhusker, baby. There we go. There we go. So I'm next thing before we get into the Q&A, I have to so you know how we're doing these game day streams at 8:30 a.m. I'm not sure about it this week because I'm gonna be driving. I'm gonna be driving on Saturday instead of Friday. So I don't know how that's gonna happen this week. We'll see. I'm figuring it out. I don't know. Maybe I just leave we'll figure it out. Okay. We'll do some sort of game day something. I just don't know how it's gonna work. But before we wrap up, we still got some things to talk about. I got some Q&As I'd like to answer. You guys sent these in through social media, through DMs and whatnot. So let's talk about it. Which player made the biggest impact in the game against Colorado? I've got two answers, but there's really just asked for one. So I'll give my honorable mention. Dante Dowdell is my honorable mention. He played fantastic. He ran the ball so hard. He literally and figuratively broke Colorado's defense with how hard he ran. So that's going to be my honorable mention. But if I have to pick one player that made the biggest impact, John M. Effin Bullock. John Bullock played a fantastic game. Fantastic. He played outstanding all around, but his pass coverage, we broke it down. We broke it down in the last BA breakdown. Go check it out on the YouTube page if you haven't checked it out yet. But man, he covered the middle of the field so well. That made me very happy to see. I was surprised. I was a little wrong by that. I did not expect to see it, and it happened. So good for John Bullock. He was my defensive MVP. If I was handing out MVPs, it was John Bullock. Next question. What did you think of the play calling by Nebraska's offensive coordinator? I don't know. It was okay. Going back and rewatching that game, it's tough, right? Because there's a very big balance. And I talked about this on 1620 the other day. It's a tough balance because you're up by 28, then you're up by 25. Do you really want to run the ball, then throw 2 quick incomplete passes, and then kick the ball back to Colorado with after 75 seconds off the game clock? No. The offensive line also didn't do a great job of executing in the second half. So that's where it gets tough. That's the thing is do I wish we could have been more aggressive? In hindsight, no, if you want the truth. I know that sounds stupid maybe, but in hindsight, no, looking back, I don't wish we were more aggressive. We won the game by 18. Now, during the game, I was definitely wanting more aggression, but hey, if I can have the power of hindsight, I'm cool with it. And I would like to explain some things that I've kind of, not criticism, but some things I've gotten on Twitter. And I'll clip this and send it to the NBNR guys as well. So a kind of misconception on some of the things of me in the Facebook groups and all that is, oh, we can't criticize the play calling or coaching. I'm not saying that. If you guys go look at, particularly my Facebook feed, because it's been around for longer, I've been very critical of past Nebraska coaching. I was critical of Marcus Satterfield last season, right? I'm cool with that. If the way that Thomas Fidone keeps being used, if that's the game plan for him, I will come on here and keep being critical. I will be more critical. All I'm saying is I just thought some of the criticism after game 1 was very unwarranted. Because, yeah, Fidone didn't get used great. Guys, we won by 33 points in week 1. We were favored by 6 points against Colorado and just beat them by 18 after being up 28-0 at half. I am more critical after the Colorado game than I was the UTEP game because here's my thing, okay? If you've ever coached and you've ever had to game plan, how much do you open up the playbook in week 1? No, there's things that you keep under wraps, particularly when you are expected to win by a lot and you go out and win by a lot. I've been in that position before personally. Well, we're up 50-something points. Why am I going to show everything in the playbook? But week 1. That was my only thing. So to, the guys at No Block No Rock or any of the fans I've kind of commented on my stuff and kind of said, why can't we criticize coaching? I'm not saying don't criticize coaching. Like I said, I'm more critical of Marcus Satterfield right now than I was a week ago. But I'm just saying, I just thought that after week 1, after winning by 33 points, wasn't really a good time to be like, what's up with the game plan? Is Marcus Satterfield, I don't know. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? Maybe I'm not making any sense at all. That's very possible. I'm just saying that. Come on. Who knows? Maybe this week we have a whole different game plan. I'm just, my guard's up with Satterfield. I'm not saying he is going to do bad. I'm just saying, I'm not even criticizing him yet because we have 2 very good wins. My guard's just up a little bit. Who knows what happens this week? But if we get into Big Ten play and things haven't changed, my tune will be changed. Because like I told the guys from No Block, No Rock, I'm not mad because it happened in game 1. I'm questioning why some things weren't happening in game 2, but I'm willing to hold it back. Now, game 3, I'm going to start to be like, hey, what's going on here? Okay. So just to make it clear, I am not saying my view as a coach, as a high school coach that does this show, I am never telling you guys don't criticize, don't question things because there's no conversation in that. What's the point of having conversation? I'm just saying I felt it was very unwarranted after the UTEP game. That's all I'm trying to say. Next question. Hopefully the last one made sense. I kind of just rambled. How did Nebraska's special teams perform against Colorado? Trash. Hey, don't even take my word for it. Matt Rule said it in the press conference. He said it was the worst special teams game that he's ever coached. So don't take my word for it. Take the boss man. Yeah, I was very disappointed. I am slowly but surely getting off the Alvano train. maybe he'll turn around and surprise me. I'm just saying I'm not seeing it yet. Coming into the year, I was very, all right, let's give him another shot. And I'm not saying let's not give him a shot, but hey, we were told that position battle was very close. We were told it was very close. Alvano's not gotten it done during the game. I'm not opposed to letting some other guys get some kicks. That's all I'm saying. Slowly but surely getting off that train. The kick return game, this is where it gets interesting. I can wrap my head around why they were wanting returns, because a lot of the numbers say, oh, you can try field position wise. I understand the logic behind it. But against Colorado, I'm not a fan of that strategy, if that makes sense. I'm very much against it because of the explosivity of Colorado. This week, I'm all for it. Illinois, I'm all for it. Ohio State, not so much. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I think it was more the opponent, and I don't like kicking to Jimmy Horn. But I'll just say this. People are so critical of Ed Foley. Do you guys think Ed Foley's not a good coach? I think he's a fantastic coach. It blows my mind. Yeah, the kicking game hasn't been very good. Kicking extra points. He can only do so much with that, right? I mean, in my opinion. If you want to criticize him for the kick return thing, sure. I think that was an overall strategy thing of trying to get returns. And like I just said, I completely disagreed with that. But I have faith in Ed Foley. Ed Foley is a proven good coach, a good special teams coach. Let's just pump the brakes on criticizing him so much, dude. He's one of the best coaches that I've seen, and I've been around. Special teams wise, he's fired up. He's fully bought in. I don't know. I don't get it. Next question. I am a new fan of the Nebraska Cornhuskers because of you. Appreciate that. Thank you. So you're a new fan. What podcast should I check out? All right. I've given some love to podcasts on here before, but I'll do it again. This came from a friend of mine who just started watching Nebraska sports because of me. Just because of my podcast, which is cool. Go check out, I'll talk about No Block, No Rock. They do live shows every Monday evening. You can check them out on YouTube or any app. I think probably the next day on the audio apps. They do a fantastic job. I'm always in their chat harassing them. I love those guys. I like to play devil's advocate in their chat, kind of give an opposing point of view. Sometimes I'll disagree with them, and I just like to throw that out there just because it's fun. It's fun. It keeps the discussion going. Generation Red deserves a lot of love. Generation Red has some very good content, and they have a great studio. They go live every Sunday night. You can check out my film breakdowns are on there on post-game Sundays, so go check out Generation Red. They deserve a crap ton of love, guys. Go check them out. Husker Army. I had Brian from Husker Army on. Last Friday, that episode came out. They are closing in at 300 subscribers. I don't know if they've hit it. Why I'm sitting here recording this, I will go look and see if they've hit 300 subscribers yet. They were right on the brink the other day. Husker Army podcast, 298. If you're a fan of the BA Coaches Show, go subscribe to Husker Army. They've got multi-time national champion Kenny Cheatham. They've got the recruiting guru, Matt Sass, a.k.a. Herbie Husker. And they got Brian just, doing all the controls, man. He runs that show. And I know he says he doesn't, but I'll say I give Brian a lot of credit. Brian does a great job with that show. So go check out Husker Army. Kenny Cheatham's going to be on this show soon. I'd love to have Matt on sometime. Brian, we're going to sit and talk again. I'll be on that show. Go check out Husker Army. There's a new podcast I need you all to go check out. They just started like a couple weeks ago. Day by day, a Husker podcast. They are fantastic. They do a fantastic job. They've given two very specific game predictions. They predicted a safety and then a Tommy Hill pick six. Both of those happened, which I've thought of them during the game 2 weeks in a row now. Go check out Day by Day. James and Andrew do a very, very good job. I am a fan of their show. Obviously, they're still starting out, so their audience base isn't that big yet, but I think there's a lot of potential there. So go check out their show. Day by Day, a Husker podcast. Last question here. What is the long-term plan for the BA Coaches Show? This is interesting. Okay. I was actually thinking about this the other day and kind of talking with my wife about some things. The plan for the BA Coaches Show, ultimate plan, isn't what it is right now. Right now, I'm putting out like 30-ish minute episodes 2-3 times a week. You guys know I'm putting everything into this right now. I am taking a year off from coaching, putting some things together. 1 year from now, I'm going to be coaching high school football again. I've already made that my goal. Well, it's not even a goal. It's going to happen. There's opportunities for a couple jobs this year, but it just didn't feel right. So I decided to put a lot of focus on Nebraska football, go up to all these games, be able to do this. But as this show keeps growing, we get to a spot where we can start making some money from this thing. And it's not about money, but you guys know who doesn't want money out of this, right? We're gonna grow this thing. And my ultimate goal for this thing is 3 times a week, if not every day, being like a live, like morning or evening show. That's a goal of mine that I've had for a while with this show. Is ultimately a year from now, I would love if Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or I don't know, something like that, we go live for 2 hours on YouTube. I take calls. I have guests on all the time. We just talk. That's a goal of mine. And then I go coach in the evening and work during the day or whatnot. But like that's a goal of mine, is that we have the BA Coaches Show live and it becomes a thing that's very interactive and you get you guys involved. We have a lot of growing to do before then, but that's my goal, is that the BA Coaches Show keeps growing. And as I next year get my coaching job, my goal is to become a high school head coach. I don't know if that's going to happen next season, but it's a goal. My goal is when I do get that head coaching job, like you guys support me doing that just as much as you guys support this page. I have a lot of big things when I become a high school head coach. It's going to be a lot to do, but I have full faith in it's going to happen. There'll be separate social media pages just based on that. We're still at minimum a year, maybe 2 or 3 away from that happening. But I'll just tell you, like, BA Coaches Show is going to be sticking around long term. It just might change the format, and that's because that's what I want to do. I want this to be a live show. I want to be able to do the BA Coaches Show in the morning, go, coach in the afternoon, evenings, do all that, and just make content for you guys all throughout. And I think it's going to be a good thing for everybody. I want to be in a position that when I am a high school head coach, I'm getting a spotlight on me to be able to highlight my players, not for myself, but if there's a spotlight on me, the kids I'm coaching, that's huge for their recruitment. And I'm all for bettering the future of the young men that I'm in charge of as a coach. So that's kind of a little interesting thing. Just kind of wanted to throw that out for you guys. But with that, we're getting ready to wrap up BA Coaches Show. You guys need to know everywhere you can go check me out. I'll start listing where you can find my stuff, because there's people that have been asking, where can I find more of the BA Coaches Show? So I'll tell you, characterchronicles.com. I already told you, go to their video podcast section, find me there. Every Monday, 8 a.m., go check me out on 1620 The Zone mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Sunday evenings, go check out my film breakdowns on Generation Red. You can find the blog at nbnrpodcast.com. Go to the blog section. As soon as I click end recording here, as the YouTube's uploading, I will then be posting the blog for Northern Iowa. So go check all that stuff out. You guys already know. Subscribe to the BA Coaches Show. Follow, share, everything. We're growing fast. I really want to hit 500. I really do. So let's make this happen. So that's going to wrap up the episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as freaking always, GBR, and in rule we trust, baby. Let's go.